Browns QB Shedeur Sanders lands two head-spinning comparisons. Cleveland Browns quarterback Shedeur Sanders has received a couple of monster comparisons heading into his first NFL season. Cleveland Browns quarterback Shedeur Sanders may very well be the most polarizing figure in football at the moment, and he has yet to even play in an NFL game. Sanders was expected by most to be a first-round pick in the NFL draft back in April, but instead he fell all the way to round 5 where the Browns scooped him up. Well, now, the Colorado Buffaloes product is competing with 3 other quarterbacks for a starting job, including fellow rookie Dillon Gabriel. The general consensus has been that one of the 2 Browns veterans, either Joe Flacco or Kenny Pickett, will end up under center in Week 1, but Cleveland legend Hanford Dixon actually thinks it will be Sanders. Not only that, but he has provided a couple of enormous comparisons for the youngster. This kid is going to be our starting quarterback, and I'm just keeping my fingers crossed and hoping that he is the guy that we have been looking for. We could be talking about him on the same level as Burrow, Jackson, and Joe Burrow, and those guys in the AFC North, Dixon said. Jackson and Burrow are widely regarded as 2 top 5 signal callers in the league. So the fact that Sanders is even being mentioned in the same breath as them is truly something. Now, to be fair, Dixon said people could be talking about Sanders on the same level as those 2. He didn't say that anyone definitely would. There is no doubting the fact that Sanders has talent, as evidenced by the fact that he threw 37 touchdown passes while completing 74% of his passes last season. But will it translate onto the NFL level? That remains to be seen. It didn't take long. The moment Shedeur Sanders put on that Cleveland Browns jersey, the world began to buzz with expectation, and not just because of his pedigree or his poise under pressure. What started as quiet murmurs turned into bold declarations as preseason rolled on. Shedeur Sanders wasn't just another rookie quarterback. He was something rarer, something electrifying. And now, as analysts, former players, and fans all scramble for the right words, 2 head-spinning comparisons have emerged that are changing how the football world talks about Cleveland's future. One name, Patrick Mahomes. The other, Joe Montana. Yes, you read that right. At first glance, these comparisons feel almost reckless. Mahomes, with his no-look passes and off-script wizardry, already has a league MVP and Super Bowl MVPs to his name. Montana, cool as an Arctic breeze, defined an entire generation of clutch quarterbacking in the 1988s. But in Sanders, some see a rare hybrid, an intersection of creative genius and unshakable calm. It's not just about stats, although his college numbers were eye-popping. In his junior season at Colorado, Shedeur threw for over 3,200 yards with 27 touchdowns and only 3 interceptions, behind one of the worst defensive lines in the FBS. That alone would make scouts take notice. But what made them lean in was something deeper. The way Sanders seemed to play chess while everyone else played checkers. A Mahomes-like instinct. When Shedeur steps into the pocket, the game slows down. He shifts, slides, and creates angles in the backfield with a kind of fluidity that has scouts whispering, that looks like Mahomes. His arm talent isn't about raw strength. It's about touch, anticipation, and vision. He doesn't just throw into windows, he creates them. Whether it's the back shoulder fade from the far hash or a sideline throw on the run, Sanders seems to conjure impossible completions like a magician pulling rabbits from a helmet. The accomplished rabbit scours don't stop until the drop, machine fires up, and the floor rockets fall into place. The sideline throw on the far hash. In college, he extended plays in a way that was chaotic, but never panicked. That same trait, a Mahomes signature, is already flashing in Brown's training camp. More importantly, he doesn't force it. He doesn't hunt highlight plays the way some young QBs do. He lets them come. That mix of flair and discipline, that's what gets coaches excited. That's what gets fans hopeful. A Montana-like mindset. But it's not just a flash that has insiders buzzing. It's the cool, that unflappable aura, that Montana calm. Ask anyone who watched Shedeur in crunch time, and they'll tell you he plays with ice in his veins. In several fourth-quarter comebacks in college, Shedeur displayed a preternatural ability to stay composed. Against ranked opponents, in front of hostile crowds, even when the offensive line was collapsing and the scoreboard was bleak. That stoicism, That's what drew the Montana comparison from one particularly veteran AFC scout. He's not just talented, the scout said. He's poised like Joe. Everything could be falling apart around him, and he just looks like he's taking a walk in the park. For Cleveland, a city that's had its share of quarterback heartbreak, this kind of narrative isn't just exciting, it's transformational. The Browns haven't had a true long-term answer at QB since Bernie Kosar. They've drafted the wrong guys, signed the wrong veterans, and watched promising starts flame out. Now, with Shedeur Sanders under center, there's a quiet belief brewing. Maybe this time, it's different. Bloodline and beyond, of course, Shedeur isn't just any rookie. He's a son of Deion Sanders, primetime himself. That legacy brings pressure, but it also brings perspective. Shedeur has grown up in stadiums, locker rooms, and press conferences. He's no stranger to the spotlight. But unlike many legacy athletes, Shedeur has carved his own identity. He doesn't play like his father. He plays like someone who learned from his father how to handle pressure, how to lead, how to be professional, even when the world watches with skepticism. When reporters asked Shedeur about the Mahomes and Montana comparisons, he didn't flinch. I respect those guys, he said with a smile, but I'm focused on being me, just trying to win games in Cleveland. That in itself is telling. Humility paired with confidence, ambition without arrogance.